My goal with you is to leave this room today with a spark of leadership. But if you sit down and you genuinely analyze your life, you will find that you are not leading a lot of your life. You have to understand where you lack in life to know where you have to grow. My dad never gave me nothing. Old school Libyan type of guy. So he taught me that if you want something in life, you have to go get it. How you feel is extremely important on how you perform. And in order for you to understand that, you need to take leadership to know where you lack in life. If you do not have a relationship with God, if you are not God consciousness, you will always find something that is void and nothing's gonna fill that. I'm talking to you today as a person who buried my daughter 2 days ago and buried the son last year. I'm here. Why am I here? Because I believe in leadership. It's a question I always ask myself, man. Are you willing to pay a price? Do you know what the price is? Do you guys know what the price is? The price is 120% every day. Money, 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 money. That doesn't fulfill, bro. Chase purpose. When you chase purpose, when you chase excellence, when you chase being the best version of yourself and leading your life properly, the money is just a byproduct of who you are. Motivation lasts 72 hours, then it's gone. Discipline lasts. You know, as Muslims, we believe in tawakkul, which means I do the work, I strive, the outcome is with Allah Azza wa Jal. Become emotionless with the outcome. Emotionless. Please be ethical when you sell. Please be moral, have a moral compass when you sell. I'm very focused on where my time goes, because where your time goes, the energy flows. That the barakah, the blessings of somebody's work life is in the morning. And the guys who sleep late and wake up late, you don't know what I'm talking about. This is a different language to you. My mission this year is to impact, empower, develop, enrich, educate 1,000 people. And all I want from them is 3 things: coachability, consistency, commitment. If I get these 3 C's, I'm gonna work with this guy. Ladies and gents, first of all, I want to thank the sponsors for the event. Barakallahu fihim, they did a great job bringing this together. It was very last minute, to be honest, but we had a nice turnout, and I think we can all learn a lot from each other. There's a lot of very valuable people in the room, and it's good to see you guys networking, taking initiative, having the conversations, but we want to continue that through the entire day, right? So don't get tired at 3 o'clock and stop networking and stop doing things. Try to lock in, all right? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Marwan Dawaibi, and I run a company called The Rizq Rise. We are a brotherhood of Muslims who are pursuing high-ticket sales and business. I focus a lot on leadership, so today's training, inshallah, is going to be around leadership. My goal with you is to leave this room today with a spark of leadership, because it all starts from somewhere, right? Leadership starts from somewhere. For me, it was when I was 16, it was a 6 a.m. shift. That's where it started for me. We're going to get into that later on. So that being said, we can go ahead, next slide, into the introduction. For those who don't know me, again, my name is Marwan Dawaibi. I'm the co-founder of Rizq Rise, alhamdulillah. I have a decade worth of experience in sales and business. I come from a family of entrepreneurs. I'm the youngest brother, so I got to see and experience business age 15, really, right? My dad, I came to him age 15. I was like, Dad, I want a new phone. And he said, go get a job. I said, man, you're a millionaire. What are you talking about? My dad never gave me nothing, which is a perspective people need to have, because sometimes people come from a wealthy family and they think that they were born into those advantages. My dad was a very old school Libyan type of guy. So he taught me that if you want something in life, you have to go get it. I look after the food in your stomach, I look after your school, I look after your dental, I look after XYZ. Anything you want in life, you need to go get that. So I got to learn that very young, and it shaped me to the person that I am today. So you may or may not come from a rich family or a wealthy family. It is your job to man up or woman up and go get what you need to get in life, all right? Leadership positions in many organizations. We run 15 different organizations, my family and I. I'm very much involved in youth activities, charity projects. That's what I care about at this point in my life. It's something that holds a lot of passion for me, and I hope to inspire that change in you guys today. Alhamdulillah, I've generated over $4 million through my experiences, through my journey in high-ticket sales in business, and I've coached over 1,000 individuals. I'm very passionate about coaching. It's something that I really appreciate. It's something that I get a kick out of it, right? Seeing a brother go from A to B, it's something that really holds a lot of purpose for me. Now, going into leadership, the first kind of question I want you guys to think about here is, who is a leader, right? Can you stand up if you're a leader, if you believe you're a leader? What's your name, brother?
Ubaydullah.
Ubaydullah.
Yes.
What an amazing name, man. Can everyone sit down, please? Ubaydullah, stay up, man. So everyone else, man, come on, bro. Why didn't you stand up? Come to the front of the room, man. Yeah, this is the point. That's the whole point. Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you too.
Why do you feel like you're not a leader?
Nah, do you know what? I just didn't want to. I seen everyone else standing.
Listen. Be real, man.
Yeah,
be real. Be honest.
Yeah,
Look, we can't learn if we're not honest. Do you understand? We can't grow if we lie to ourselves. We have to understand that. Why do you feel like you're not a leader? Why didn't you stand up?
Nah, I did stand up in the beginning. I've seen everyone else stand up.
You didn't stand up, man. You were sitting down.
No. Listen to me. Listen to what I'm about to say. I did stand up in the beginning. I seen everyone else standing up, so I thought, you know what, let me take a seat.
But why did you sit down? Good answer. Good answer. You know what it is? Sometimes you don't know. That's the truth.
That's what I'm here.
Not everything's figured out. Well done. Give him a round of applause, man. Appreciate it. Who else stayed seated? Somebody else stayed seated in the back. Stand up. Stand up. Why did you say seated? You see how some people take this as a very tricky question or something that they have to really ponder on and think about? Most of you guys stood up. But if you sit down and you genuinely analyze your life, you will find that you are not leading a lot of your life. You're clearly following. So perspective is very important. You have to understand where you lack in life to know where you have to grow, right? You have to understand where you lack in life in order for you to know how to grow. So a lot of us, we like the term of leadership, we like the term of the person that knows what he's doing, but in reality, if you sit down, you think there's parts of your life that you just don't have figured out. Just like our brother here, he doesn't have it figured out. And that's absolutely okay, because that means that you have to do what? You have to grow, you have to think, you have to figure it out. And that's a good thing. In leadership, that's extremely important. I'm talking to you with 10 years of leadership experience, and I have so much to learn. The deeper I get into leadership, the more I'm realizing, man, I'm only at level 3, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is just a perspective shift for everybody here. And as a closer, my topic is going to be around closing today. You have to understand the most important thing as a leader in closing is the mindset, man. And obviously, Amran did an incredible job talking about mindset earlier on. This is my goal with you guys today. If I can switch this on, my job's done. I've done a great job, because I'm not looking for you to leave today with all the answers. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to switch on that mindset to be like, yo, I need to lead my life. I need to start pursuing things properly. I need to take function into accountability, and I need to go. Because that's how the process starts, man. Who you are today and who you are 12 months from now is going to be completely different if you switch that on. So a question to think about: your outer world of results is a mirror of your inner world of beliefs. How many times you jump on a sales call and you don't perform? How many times you jump on a sales call and you're like, man, what was that, bro? What the hell happened there? Well, you're not feeling good inside, man. And those things need to change. I was in a retreat last week. I had a retreat in Ireland. Obviously, if you guys don't know, I'm half Irish. I don't know if the accent gave it away. But I was in a retreat, and I had one of the closers in the retreat with us. He had a packed out schedule. First sales call, flop. Second, third, fourth. We were just enjoying the lake at the time. I came in. This guy was fried. Fried, bro. I said, what's going on? I don't know. I can't tell you, man. I said, walk outside. Let's go. As soon as I pulled him outside, I said, is it family situations? He said, how'd you know? First of all, if you have issues at home, if you have issues in your personal life, and you can't divide the professional and the personal, you are going to flop in sales. You are going to do really bad in sales, because how you feel will come to the surface, and the prospect or the client will also see that. So I had a conversation with him. I said, next sales call, I'm taking the sales call. Whoever the prospect is, I'm running up. You were there, right? So we had one of the guys there as well. We came in, we took the sales call, closed the deal. I looked at him, I said, how'd you feel? I feel great. I said, go for a walk. Leave your phone right here, go for a walk, 30 minutes, go look at the cows and come back. And he did that. He went away for 30 minutes, cleared his head, came back. Guess what he did when he came back? Closed 3 deals, piff. What does that show you? How you feel is extremely important on how you perform. And in order for you to understand that, you need to take leadership to know where you lack in life. For example, there's four terms that we look at, right? Your spiritual term: if you do not have a relationship with God, if you are not God consciousness, you will always find something that is void, and nothing's going to fill that. So spirituality is so important, man. It does so much for your life. Number 2, financials. So your spiritual side, your financial side. Get good with managing money. A lot of guys go into high ticket sales, what happens? The bread comes up, spend it all, do it all. And then next thing you know, when he goes through a tough month, he's financially broken. So get good with making money, get good with managing money. Number 3, your physical state. I genuinely believe, Amran, it's a good thing you have a gym, bro. I genuinely believe if you don't look after your physical state, you're literally putting yourself in a disadvantage. Genuinely believe that. I believe that with all my heart. Because you gotta understand, there's only 2 ways that I see a person that can release stress, gain clarity, gain confidence. There's only 2 ways that I see it. One is through worship. The second is through working out. That's how I see it. That's how I've lived my life. I'm talking to you today as a person who buried my daughter 2 days ago. I buried the son last year. I'm here. Why am I here? Because I believe in leadership. I believe maybe me today, being here, can impact someone to do better in his life. And that's what I care about. But I'm telling you right now, if I didn't have worship and I didn't have the ability to work out and push my body, I would not be so sane. So this is an advice for all of you to reflect on. As you grow in life, have these 2 components. Take care of them. What I want to focus on today is not the tactics. I'm not interested in giving you that one closed line that's going to make you deals. I'm looking for transformation, man. I genuinely want you to transform. There's an element to you that you're not even aware of right now, that if you tap into and you work on it long enough, you will transform into a much stronger, better version of yourself. And you will live a much happier life. Go ahead.
You mentioned 4 things, right?
Yes. Well done. Do you know what I was looking for? I was looking for a leader to be able to be aware enough to understand that there's one point that was missing. There's one guy in the room that caught that. Well done. So we said physical, financial, spiritual. What do you guys think the last one is?
Mental.
Mental, exactly. If you're not personally developing, if you're not pursuing more knowledge, if you're not pursuing more strength in your abilities, you will stay in a specific zone in your life and you will not outgrow that, right? A lot of the things you guys are hearing in high-tech sales as well. Money, deals, commission, cash collected. That doesn't fulfill purpose, man. It genuinely doesn't. It's a tool. Money is simply a tool, guys. That's all it is. It pushes the needle forward. It sorts out 90% of your problems, 100%. But there's that 10% gap that you need to develop. People are meant to develop. We're not brought onto this earth to stay as we are. We're always looking to grow and develop and how we can do things better and faster and so on and so forth. So your mental capacity of you self-developing is super important. We have Rodriguez here, who's a coach. What do you do, bro?
So I'm a performance coach for traders.
Performance, what do you work on?
Psychology.
Psychology. Why is that important?
Because without psychology, how are you going to perform and stick to your strategy? Because otherwise, under pressure, you're going to be emotionally hijacked. And when you're emotionally hijacked, your decisions are based on emotion rather than logic, strategy, risk.
Exactly. And if you lose the psychology part of it, if you use your mindset, if you use your mentality, what happens? All other categories will fall. So these 4 components, Habibi, if you focus on all of them, you have a very good balance of life, right? Move on to the next one. This is a question I ask myself all the time. I asked myself this question when I was coming to London. It's a question I always ask myself, man. Are you willing to pay a price? Because everybody wants something here in life, right? All you guys want something that's precious to you, that's important to you. What price are you going to pay for that? What's your name, brother?
Sam.
Sam.
Yeah.
Have it, stand up, please. What's something you really want in life, man?
Financial freedom.
What's the price?
Too much. Stress. Working. Everything. Price.
Stand up, brother. I really like your suit, man.
Thank you, man.
What do you want in life?
So yeah, similar as friends, financial, location freedom, and time freedom.
What's the price?
Just locking in, putting in the work when everybody's having fun and delayed gratification, so you can take the fruition later on.
Okay. Do you know what the price is? Do you guys know what the price is? The price is 120% every day. That's the price. 120% every single day. That's the price. If you're not willing to pay the price, don't go after the dream. Straight up. Stick to a 9 to 5, stick to what's basics. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. People are happy like that too. But if you want to chase your dreams and really conquer your goals in life, then there's a price that you have to pay. And if you're not willing to pay the price, don't go for the journey. Because a lot of guys, what they do is they start the journey. As soon as the price gets heavy, they'll take a step back and they're like, I don't know. How many times did you go through this yourself? Where you start a journey, the price gets heavy, you go back. And if you make it just about yourself, I'm telling you right now, I've been leading groups 10 years. If you just make it about yourself, guess what happens? It's me, myself, and I. So the moment that I don't feel like it, it's no longer relevant. But when you make it about external factors, it becomes heavy on the shoulders. You no longer can take a step back and say, I don't feel like it today. I could have easily said, I don't feel like it coming here today with my trials and tribulations that I'm dealing with. But I made it here. I'm willing to pay the price. Something to really, this is a deep question, by the way. It's not something you can answer so quickly, like financial freedom and stress. No, really think about your life, man. What do you want? A lot of people don't even know what they want, man. They have no idea. They give one statement. If I was to speak to you guys about what I want right now, I would get passionate, extremely passionate. I'll make you believe what I have is already happening because I already see it, it's clear. So what you want needs to be identified to a T. And after you understand what you want, you need to understand exactly what you need to sacrifice to make that happen. You're going to get people who disbelieve in you. You're going to get people who will mock you. You're going to look in the mirror sometimes and feel like, I don't have it, bro. That's going to happen. You're going to have family members to tell you to quit. You're going to look at your kids and think, I'm not spending enough time with them, what's going on? The sacrifice needs to be paid. Because if you don't pay it now, you're going to pay it later. But you're going to pay it. So really get clear with what you want. Get clear with what you need to pay. Because once you understand that, now you're on a mission. I'm on a very clear mission in my life right now. I know exactly where I'm going, who I'm going with, when I'm going to get there, how I'm going to get there. I know the vehicles, I know everything. When you're like this, you will never, ever wake up by accident. Do you know what that means? How many guys wake up by accident? They don't know what's going on. They wake up, same thing, routine, zombie life. They live their zombie life. They have no purpose in life. They're in motion, but nothing's happening. But when you get very clear with what you want, you will lead a better life. And everybody here, the first question I ask you is, who's the leader? All of you stood up. Something to think about. Let's get into closing and how we can lead better closing. There's 2 types of mindsets in leadership we need to understand when it comes to closing. The first mindset is someone that does not have the correct mindset or leadership. This person is insecure. This person is chasing leads. This person is burnt out. Anyone feel like that? Nobody? Everyone feels like they have a winner mindset? That's a good thing, right? This is the type of person that has trusted advisory energy. Like your aura means so much as a closer. I promise you, before I even speak when I get on a closing call, I promise you the guy's already like this. I have his attention. He's already paid me with his attention before he paid me the money. So you gotta work on your aura. If you wanna get into closing, you need to have aura. You can't be a weak-minded person as a closer. It doesn't work. You get lucky with a few deals, but if you wanna scale, if you wanna hit crazy numbers, you must have aura. Attracting opportunities. You know, Amran was mentioning to me yesterday on how he was managed to close 750K, and he was telling me how the opportunities were attracted. That's a different level in sales. That's a level that you really need to tap into. And how your offer is so attractive, you have such strong aura that if that person doesn't buy right here, right now, I promise you he's thinking about you after that call. He's really thinking about, I need to work with this guy. Sometimes it's not even the product or the service, man. Sometimes it's just you. It's just your aura. That sells the opportunity. The last one is performance sustainability. You know, there's a very important thing for everyone to understand here, especially as they're growing as a closer. You must have a strong balance of life. You have to. Everyone here follows a calendar, right? Everyone has a calendar. We have sales calls, calendars, right? Are just your sales calls on your calendar? Is it just your sales calls? The moment I wake up to the moment I sleep, that's on my calendar. Every single activity, to the point where my wife knows exactly what I'm doing, and she knows when it's her time and the family time. It's so organized. Like I said, you don't wake up by accident. You have strict focus on what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be done. And guess what happens if you work like that? You know when you put your head to the bed and you go to sleep, you feel fulfilled. You feel like you gave 120%. And you're excited to wake up the next day to do it again and again and again. And that's something money can't buy. Money can't buy that. And that's why I really want to emphasize on you guys today, don't chase the money, man. Don't be that guy, don't be that girl. Money, 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 money. That doesn't fulfill, bro. Chase purpose. When you chase purpose, when you chase excellence, when you chase being the best version of yourself and leading your life properly, the money is just a byproduct of who you are. You attract that stuff. It just comes to you. I'm telling you right now, I get phone calls every single day. Come do business with me. Here's 50%. Come just lock in. Now I can pick and choose what I want to do because I've built myself. And that's something I want you guys to really work on. When you build yourself to a level, opportunities come knock on your door. Just take the check. Take the check, bro. And then you can cherry pick what you want to do in life. But first comes mastery of yourself, right? You don't close the high ticket offer with poor mindset or shaky identity. Skill without self-leadership is noise. A lot of guys that have skill, they're good at what they do, but they don't have leadership. They're just noisy, man. It's just a lot of noise. I've met so many billionaires in my life, and the richest guys that I know, they have such an aura to them where I promise you, they can say 2-3 sentences, but they mean so much when they talk. Like the value hits a different level, and you develop that through leadership. For Muslims, self-leadership begins with aligning our intentions. As Muslims, we believe a lot in our intentions, right? Everything we do, in the Quran or in the Hadith we say, إِنَّ الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ. Everything that we do must have an intention behind it. We don't do things by accident. We don't do things because we feel like it. We have an intention behind it. My intention coming to this event today was, genuinely, I had Kez with me, who flew in with me, and I said to him, bro, if I can impact one guy can get out of this event and actually lock in, then I've done my job, bro. I'm happy with that. That's a good result for me. Because I understand the law of averages. Don't we understand the law of averages? What's the law of averages? It's a numbers game, which means that the reality is majority of this room will not take massive action after this event. That's the reality. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. I've done many events. I've hosted retreats for the last 10 years. Corporate events, religious events. I've done everything. And the reality is it's a numbers game. There's a person in this room today, or a number of people in this room today, that looks at this opportunity today and is like, you know what? I'm done. I'm done living the way I used to live, man. That's finished. From today, game over. We switch the page. I'm going into a brand new chapter. That's the reality. It's a numbers game. But the question is, are you going to be that guy? Or are you going to be that girl? Is that you? That's something you got to reflect on. And if you guys notice, when I came in, I was reading the room for the first hour when I was speaking. I was reading who's locked in, who's focused, who's taking notes. I'm sure you guys heard the statement, note takers are money makers. 85 or 90% of what you hear, you will forget. If I was to ask you right now, give me every single point Amara mentioned, and you guys just left for an hour, most of you wouldn't be able to give me half of what he said. You know why? You're not taking notes. I've never attended an event in my life growing as a leader where I'm not sitting in the front of the room with a notepad and pen. Never. I'm always that guy. So perspective needs to change here, guys. You know, some of you guys paid £100, some of you guys paid $250 for the VIP. Get your money's worth, man. You know, when I used to come to events and I'd pay the fee to come, I would get 10 times more than what I paid for because I'm very aware. I'm soaking everything up. I'm taking advantage of every single opportunity in front of me. Where I know when I leave the event, I have an entire game plan to follow now. Some of you guys will feel motivated after this event. You'll leave this event, you feel a little bit uplifted. You're like, oh, that was good, sounded good, la, la, la. We got some videos, we got this. Motivation lasts 72 hours, then it's gone. Discipline lasts. And that's why I'm saying today, if you can create a plan that's disciplined enough for you to follow, you will change your life. Now, there's 3 power levers of becoming a high-ticket advanced closer. Going from closing 50 to 50K deals with power, precision, and persistence. You don't need more scripts. I see this a lot in sales, man. Everyone's looking for that perfect script. Like, yo, Taylor, give me that perfect script, man. That's the one. Bro, that might work for him, might not work for you, man. There's different personalities in this room. There's introverts, there's extroverts, there's people that learn different. Like Amran said earlier on, you will align with the person that you see a lot of resemblance in. So you go and you take notes from that person. And don't ask for the script. Don't work on the base level. Don't work on the surface. I need you to go deep. Probe yourself. Don't you guys probe on closing calls? Isn't that what you do? You probe? Probe yourself, man. What do you need to work on? What's deep-rooted in your life that you need to tap into? That's the type of leadership I'm talking about. Taking yourself to account first before you lead anyone else. Lead yourself, right? You need transformation. So I'm going to give you guys 3 core levers that turn average closers into elite, high-income machines. The first one, identity mastery. Becoming that closer. When you're a closer, you need to hold your own. You need to hold your own stage, man. Right? Don't try to copy everyone else. Build your own closing abilities. Build your own character. Make yourself unique. Like when somebody jumps on a call with you as a closer, make it so memorable that he'll never forget you. That's the effect I have when I jump on calls. The guy does not forget me. Wallahi, I have guys who reach out to me 2-3 years later. Bro, that conversation we had 2-3 years ago. Yeah, and he remembers what we spoke about. That level of closing I'm talking about. Become that closer, where you're extremely memorable, right? The game starts inside. I'm talking about a lot of deep-rooted stuff today, guys. I'm trying to fix what's in here. I'm not really focused on any, statements. I'm trying to fix what's up in here, right? You must recode your internal operating system and lead calls from a place of unshakable certainty. You know, if the prospect has 1% doubts in what you're saying, you flopped. If you don't believe 100 million % that what you have, you gave an example earlier, Amran. I'll give you guys another example. If I took you right now and I put you in a cave of gold, bro, and I told you this is gold, you have as much as you want. You can call whoever you want, but you can't tell them there's gold in this cave, and you have to get them here. What would you do, bro? You do whatever you gotta do, because you know, there's a cave of gold. We're rich forever, but you can't tell them there's a cave of gold. How would you get them there? So when you know, as a closer, what you have is gold, what you have is an opportunity that can change this person's life, it's your responsibility to ensure that he understands that. It's your responsibility. You take that weight and put it on your shoulders. That, hey, I can't leave this closing call without this guy understanding that this is going to change his life if I genuinely believe it. There's been guys on my calls before, the guy is shaky. He's never invested online. I'll give you guys an example. Extremely scared, this fella. His name was Yusuf. He came on to one of my closing calls. He had a panic attack, basically, right? When he seen the investment, he's just like, oh, la, 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 and he tried to turn off his camera and the mic and everything. I was just sitting there like, oh my God, this guy's going through a seizure right now. What the hell's going on? So I said, bro, are you there? And he says, well, give me 2 minutes. And he blacked out. The screen went black. I didn't know what was going on. So I sat there, okay, no worries, just sipped on my water. Came back and he's like, bro, I need to go. It's a hospital appointment. Da, da, da. He just made a mad excuse and just boom, off the Zoom call. But because of what I said earlier on, I had such an effect on him. Yeah, he got scared, never invested online in his life. He's been in corporate for 10 years, same salary, he's been in the same rat race for 10 years. He can't see past what he understands. He's never leveled up in his life, so he doesn't understand that the ceiling is not capped here, it's higher. You've never seen that before. So he went away, came back to me the next day, he called me, and he said, bro, it was your aura, man. He's like, I genuinely don't feel like I can do this, but just by seeing you, and by seeing your level of commitment with your guys, he's like, I just believe in you. I don't even believe in myself. So I'm literally paying this money, not knowing if I'm ever gonna make money off this thing, but I just wanna see what happens. I'm just curious enough to see what happens. Guess who this guy became? One of the top closers in the team. Closed 200K in his first 30, 60 days, killing it. So it's crazy how your aura and your leadership on a call can affect someone so much that he goes off the call, and as much as he's scared and he has all the doubt and the fear, your aura still passes through that. That's insane when you think of it. And that's something that requires a lot of work, guys. You can't get that in a day or two. This is not going to happen in the next 24 hours. This is something you genuinely need to work on and work on and work on. And you need mentorship. Like I'm speaking to you today as someone that's been mentored for many years. My personal mentor is my older brother, multi-millionaire, started from zero. Me and him, we run different companies together, but he's my mentor. I don't make decisions based off my decisions. I make decisions based off my consultation with him. And a lot of guys, when they get into high-ticket sales, because the ego kicks in, you think you're the shit, you don't feel like you need anyone else's opinion. You don't feel like you need consultation or mentorship. But that's a big mistake you're gonna make. You need to find someone that can genuinely give you the guidelines and that you trust enough to pursue a mentorship with this person, right? So, building your closer identity, rejection, objections, I need to think about it, doesn't even dent you. It doesn't even scratch the surface with you. Too many guys are so emotional in this space, man. They'll get a few rejections, they'll get a few no's, they get emotional. Oh man, you know what, I want to take the day off, I want to take the week, I need to relax, don't let it affect you. Become emotionless with the outcome. Emotionless. Whatever happens, I give 120%, that's all I care about. You know, as Muslims, we believe in tawakkul, which means I do the work, I strive, the outcome is with Allah Azza wa Jal. The outcome is with God. I just do the work, I just show up. And 95% of success is what? Showing up. That's what it is. Show up to your goals every single day, show up to what's important, show up to your priorities, just show up, man. Continue to show up. And you will no longer be affected by the emotion of getting rejected or not being able to hit your target on time, right? Control your emotional state like a Navy SEAL. Like that's what I'm talking about. You have to start thinking in ways where when you see a Navy SEAL or when you see the Army, do you feel like these guys are emotional when they get on the battlefield? Do you guys think they're scared? 100% they're scared. They're human beings. They have hearts. They're scared. But they got so good at controlling the emotion where they will barge into a room and they will have positions where they can take out the enemy in seconds because they got extremely emotionless in the face of death. I'm not saying you guys are going to go there, but I'm saying start to train your mind where you're no longer emotional about things that can just damage your performance and damage, how you grow in your career. Stop trying selling, instead somebody worth following. Like I said earlier, aura, leadership, super important. When you can genuinely lead yourself, you can lead others. There was a story I heard of a man who had a dream. And this guy's dream was to change the world. He wanted to impact the world in a positive manner. He wanted to create change. He wanted to create happiness for the world. And guess what he did? He got on a mission and he tried. Years later, he realized he couldn't change the world. So he decided, I can change my country. I'll change my country. He tried many years. Nothing happened. And he decided years later, let me change my city, man. I can change my city. I've grew up here. I can change my city. I have positive impact and perform better with people, so on and so forth. Nothing happened. Time passed. Years later, he looked at his town and he said, I can change these people. This is my neighborhood. Many years, nothing happened. Then he looked at his family. He said, I can change my family and make it positive in my household. He couldn't even do that. You know why? Because time caught up with him. That's the price he had to pay. When if he reverse engineered that and led by changing himself first, he would have had an impact on his family. And his impact would have had, and his family's impact would have had an impact on the neighborhood, which would have had, do you get what I'm saying? So when you want to lead others, when you want to help others, when you want to serve, when you want to become a leader, it's you. There's no point in trying to pour into people's cups when your cup is empty, bro. You got to fill your cup first. I said something on my last retreat. I said so many people these days are worrying about how can I help this guy, and how can I help this guy, and how can I help this guy, and how can I help this guy. Bro, help yourself, man. Please, do yourself a favor. Help yourself. Become pinnacle in your field. Become excellent. Because when you do that, you can genuinely serve others. When Amaran was sharing the nuggets that he was sharing, bro, he focused on himself. If you don't focus on yourself, your cup will be empty. And nobody wants to drink from a cup that's empty. Do you get what I'm saying? So you guys need to kind of take that into perspective. Lead yourself, build yourself up, make yourself undeniably great at what you do, and then start to serve others, right? We go into number 2 after identity, sales chemistry. Turning conversations into commitments. How can you get a conversation into a commitment? Well, forget about the frameworks that are robotic, that sound the same, right? The ones that just, doesn't matter who you're talking to, you just say the same stuff. Don't be that person. Like I said, there's people that are going through different things in life. If you can genuinely understand where this person is, you will click with him. And when you click with him, guess what it feels like? It feels like you're on his team. He feels like you genuinely want the best for him, man. And when you build that chemistry with that person, I'm telling you, it's not even about him signing up to the program or him getting the product or service. It's about him actually getting the fulfillment, man. What's the point in getting somebody signed up when you know he's gonna flop? And you know he's gonna flop because you didn't click with him. You didn't lock him in. You didn't get him all in. Before I collect payment on my calls, you know what I do? I make sure this guy is all in with the fulfillment, not with the sale. I tell him, Bro, if you can't lock in for 90 days, if you can't zone in, if you can't give this 120%, if you can't pay the price, please don't do this, man. And guess what happens when he makes that transaction? He also gives you his attention with that. And when you pay attention. If somebody pays me money with no attention, I'm not interested. I don't want that, because that will damage my fulfillment process. Do you get what I'm saying? So when you're locking in somebody, you make sure you lock them in on fulfillment as well. Elite closes create moments of clarity that move people to act. You need to listen between the lines, uncover what the buyer really fears, and hold space until they're ready to choose change. Until they're ready to do what? They're ready to change, not they're ready to pay. Too many of us got it twisted, bro. Like I said, we're chasing the money. Don't do that. You have a responsibility. If you want to become pinnacle in high-ticket sales, if you want to become someone extremely valuable in high-ticket sales, I'm going to answer something so powerful earlier on. Don't lie, don't cheat. Be authentic, be real. How many sales guys do we have that are just saying what they need to say just to get the deal across, bro? We want to change the industry, man. We're sick and tired of seeing this. We want guys that are closing because they're really good at what they do, not because they sound good enough to make the guy pull out his wallet. Where you're so good at the fulfillment of your process that it's just undeniable that they want to work with you and they want to close with you, right? Using surgical questions that reveal internal conflicts they didn't even know was there. Sometimes it's not even what the prospect says, by the way. You know, a lot of sales guys, they probe into areas of what the prospect says. Sometimes it's what he doesn't say. Sometimes I can look at someone, just from the Zoom camera, I'm like, bro, this is happening in your life, am I correct? And the guy's shocked, he's like, what the hell? How the hell do you know that? And I could literally read that from his body language, his tonality, his huffing and puffing at certain scenarios, the way he looks, his eye contact. I can read those things. So if you want to get really good at closing, it's not just about what he says, it's about what he doesn't say. And when he doesn't say things, sometimes there's even deeper areas to probe in those places. Sometimes those areas are even deeper to probe. And that's a pain point that he won't even mention because it's so deep-rooted. Your job as a closer to identify that, to understand that, to be able to take that to the surface, right? Master power framing, flip objections into deep commitments. When somebody gives you an objection, I don't even get objections. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't even get objections. The only objection I actually get is money. That's it. There's no other objection I get. And that's sometimes, it is what it is. Sometimes somebody doesn't have the money. You have to figure it out. You have to open wallet check them and realize what the situation is. But in reality, if you can take an objection and fuel that into the commitment, for example, a guy says, I don't have the money. What do we do with that? Musa, what do we do with that? I don't have the money. What do we do with that?
So isolate the objection.
Okay, what do we do? Tell me.
Because the finance, that's really stopping it from going ahead.
Yeah, it's the finance. I don't have the money. Who's next? Come on, we need some closers in here, man. Let's go.
Redirect their attention while you took the call. Make them see the value in your spoke or your consultation. Because there's a reason why they joined that call.
Okay, anyone else? Yeah.
Get them in a resourceful state, see how committed they are, and see what they're willing to do to get the money.
Okay, anyone else? Yeah.
So when they say they don't have the money, is it more like they don't really have it, or we know they're lying?
Abdullah's like, you liar! Let me see your bank, man.
No, I'm asking a question. So we can ask them, do you want to pay the price or you want to pay the cost?
Good perspective. Anyone else?
Make them see reality if they really want
Good!
to.
Well done. Give him a clap. You know what it is? It's a reality check. It's a reality check. When someone tells me they don't have the money, I feel like I'm obliged to tell this guy why he doesn't have the money. I have to give this guy a reality check because he's not giving himself one. If somebody jumps on a sales call with me and really wants the product and tells me I don't have the money, before I even open wallet check or anything, I need to let him understand, yo, this is a reality check for you right now. Like, do you want to be in this situation 6 months, 12 months from now? Is this okay to be in this situation or not? No, or not. Why not, man? Why is it not okay to be in this situation 6 months from now? Well, because I don't want to feel like I'm in the same position, la 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 la. He's going to start telling you stuff. But you have to really genuinely help him understand that this is your reality based on all the decisions that you've made in the past. Every decision that you've made in the past has put you in this position today. So unless you're going to continue to make the same decisions that you've made in the past to continue to live the life that you live right now, something's got to change. And that's what sales is, it's change. Something's got to change. And if that change clicks in his head, I'm telling you right now, he's going to get the money. He's going to get it because you've changed the way he sees the opportunity. He no longer sees it as something that can help him. He sees it as something that he needs in his life. And if the need is there, where there's a will, there's a way. If I called one of you guys today and I said someone beloved to you is in a situation, God forbid, they're in the hospital, we need 10K today to save their life, what would you do? You'd figure it out. You'd figure it out, bro. Do you know why? Where there's a will, there's a way. When this person can understand that their reality needs to change they're going to find a way to make the needle move forward. It might not happen straight away, but as long as you've inspired that change, then inshallah, you're gonna get that deal, right? And you're gonna, most importantly, change that person's life. That's the most important thing, right? Understanding human behavior at its core, why people hesitate, why they say yes, and how to ethically lead them forward. This is a key word I want everyone to see here, ethically. Please be ethical when you sell. Please be moral, have a moral compass when you sell. Majority of people don't have it. They genuinely don't have it because all they see is pound signs. They just see dollar signs. Be ethical. Do you know somebody will respect you far greater when you're ethical? And you know when they do go through the fulfillment process and they do make a change in their life and they do succeed, you know what they remember? They remember the guy that sold them the product or the service because you were ethical about it. Does that make sense? Right? The best closers don't convince, they reveal. They don't convince. I don't convince nobody. I don't convince nobody. I persuade decisions, but most importantly, I reveal to you what the reality is. I reveal to you what the opportunity is. I reveal to you what you're going to miss if this train passes. I reveal that to you. That's very clear cut. As long as you made that clear, then you are a great closer, right? They don't chase, they magnetize. You magnetize opportunities. You make people want to work with you based on the things that I discussed today. And the last thing, the third thing, authority positioning. From a closer to a trusted advisor. So if you sound like every other closer, if you sound like everyone else, you close like everyone else. Why did you guys get into high-ticket sales in the first place? Can anyone tell me why did you actually pick high-ticket sales? Anyone, hands up? Yeah.
To improve communication skills. That was
Okay.
the biggest thing.
Okay. Anyone else? Guys, everyone's in high-ticket sales. Why are your hands down, man? What's up?
Solutions for bigger network.
Okay. Yeah.
At first, it was all about making money, but along the line, it turned to something like helping people make money out on the long run at the same time.
I'm still looking for the answer. I'm waiting for someone to be real here. Come on. Yeah.
I was chasing a challenge, looking for like, something different.
Why do we get into high-ticket sales? What's the purpose behind it? Yeah.
Change my family
So what did you have to leave in order for you to get? What did you leave?
I'll be brutally honest, lost a lot of probably connections with friends.
No, what I mean by is, everyone got into high-ticket sales because they wanted to leave the 9 to 5. That's the reality. The normal 9 to 5 life, they got into high-ticket sales because it's more remote, more money, more flexibility, more this, more. That's why we left, right? You left the 9 to 5 in order for you to pursue what had more leverage, more time freedom, more financial freedom, more this, more that. But we left something to get something. Make sense? So when we look at this, we're talking about you'll close like everyone else. We're talking about the 9 to 5 people, with all due respect to them. I have nothing against 9 to 5s, but that's where the sheep are going, right? The majority of people go in that area. So what you decided to do in high-ticket sales was you seen the sheep and you went the opposite direction. Am I correct? You went the opposite direction of what the majority of people do, which is go through a 9 to 5, settle down, live to the 65, retire, whatever. We chose the opposite direction. So even as a closer, the reason why I'm mentioning this is even as a closer, most closers will be like sheep. They'll go in one area. You do the opposite, you go the opposite direction. You think outside the box. You have stronger aura. You have the strongest persuasion skills. You're able to lead on a call. You're able to leave an influence. You're able to lead with impact. If you do that, then you're the opposite of the majority of closers. Does that make sense? You guys with me? Yeah? All right, cool. So, craft a high authority presence that says this person is worth listening to before you even speak. Build deal flow on your terms, quality leads, optimize your calendar, zero energy leaks. The reason why I mentioned zero energy leaks here is because I mentioned earlier about the calendar. I said to you guys, who has a calendar? You have your sales calls. You guys will have your sales calls. Do you know how important it is to put your spiritual, your mental, your physical, and your financial parts of your life inside that calendar on a daily basis? Do you know how important that is? That builds balance. Balance of what? Of your energy flow. If you're bang, all day, sales calls, guess what happens to you? Burnout. So you don't deal with burnout when it happens. You cut it from the damn roots. I don't have burnout. I don't deal with burnout. And I'm telling you, I live a hyperactive life. I run many organizations. I'm the leader of many organizations. I don't stay in one location longer than 2 weeks for the last 4 years. I'm on a flight every 2 weeks. That's the life I live. How can I manage that? Well, you can't manage just doing sales calls. Well, it's because I don't have energy leaks. I'm very focused on where my time goes. Because where your time goes, the energy flows, right? If you're putting time on things that are not producing results for you or perspective for you, you're gonna flop. For example, I'll start my morning, 4 a.m., I'll have my prayer, I'll have a session where I sit down, I read Quran. That builds my spiritual side. From the morning, I'm good spiritually. I'm ready to like go, right? Then I start my morning with focus work. Before I take any sales calls, before I take any team calls, before I consult, before I do anything, I work on focus work. Why? Because the brain is wired different in the morning. And the guys who sleep late and wake up late, you don't know what I'm talking about. This is different language to you. But the guys who understand what I'm talking about, that's what happens in the morning. You're wired different. So for the guys who are staying up late and living that lifestyle, I'm telling you, there's a part of your day where you haven't even tapped into yet. And for the Muslims, we know, the Prophet ﷺ mentions that the barakah, the blessings of somebody's work life is in the morning. Get up early, start your day early, right? I get focus work done. Focus work is what? Moving the needle forward. How am I moving the needle? That's focus work. Then I have gym, workout, home workout, whatever it is, I need to get the body in shape. By the time it's 9 o'clock, when you're snoozing, I've already completed 3 out of 4. There's no way me and you will start 9 a.m. the same. There's no way. Does that make sense? But when you can really lock in your energy properly on your calendar, you will perform at a very high level. You will perform at an extremely high level. And guess who's going to see that? Everyone around you. Your family will notice it. Your peers will notice it. Your sales managers will notice it. Everyone's going to be like, whoa, this guy's on smoke. What the hell's happening with him? What the hell did he do? Well, all he did was just fix your life up, man. You just look at your life. You're like, okay, energy is going everywhere. Right, I need to manage this. This is what's going to happen here. This is what's going to happen there. This is what's going to happen here. I'm going to have breaks in through the day so I can reflect, have some coffee, whatever it is that you need to do. And this way, by the time it gets to night, you have built up 120% performance on that day. And then repeat. Now, repeat means that you have one day off. You need a day off. Listen to me, sales reps. You need a day off. Why is that important? Because you have other priorities in life, man. Life is not just about wake up, make money, and die. That's not what life's about. You gotta enjoy the blessings of this world too. You gotta enjoy the little things. You gotta enjoy your family, man. You know, a lot of guys these days, I want financial freedom. Why do you want financial freedom? Because I want to look after my mom, bro. Respect. Wallah, respect to you, bro. But what's the point in you working 7 days a week, not available whatsoever for this amazing woman who's done everything for you, and then now that you've been in the career for 5-6 years, you still haven't spent an entire day with her. And you're telling me you're doing this for her, bro. Your priorities all over the place. You need one day that recharges your body, recharges your soul, recharges what's important, recharges family time, For me, that's work. Sunday is my family day, and my day where I reflect and where I recharge. Even that for me is work. But you know what work it is? It's the stuff that recharges me. It's the stuff that drives purpose again. It's the stuff that goes, okay, new week, let's go. Monday, let's go, right? So you need one day of the week where you recharge. Because if you don't have that, what's gonna happen to you is you're gonna live that robotic life all over again, where you're in zombie mode. You're just doing the same thing over and over again. Nothing holds purpose in your life. Does that make sense? Yeah. So from today, if we can all just fix the calendars up really well and put everything in there. Everything. Yeah.
How many sales calls would you recommend having a day?
To be honest, it depends on the person. I'm not gonna lie to you. I can go back to back 12 hours. I can't do that. I have the ability for that. Some people, they'll burn out in 4 calls in a row, they'll burn out. They'll no longer have the focus to lead the call properly. So I would say for sales reps, you're taking minimum 5 to 8 sales calls a day. It's a good frame, and you need to have breaks. Those breaks, by the way, I'm not saying breaks as in do this, because this is what we do on breaks. Scroll, breaks finished. Back again. No, that's not a break. You know what a break is? Get the hell up, move your goddamn legs, go smell some fresh air, go move around, go get a coffee, go speak to another human being in person, because you're on a bloody Zoom call all day, right? Well, I mean, guys these days, man, the guy doesn't even know how to interact anymore. Like, I'm like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? He's a sales guy. But he's just, hi there, Jack, how's it going? The payment link is sent, Jack. Bro, talk to another human being. Go to the cafe and talk to the waiter and compliment him for his coffee, right? Have human interaction, for God's sake, man. It feeds the brain, it makes you feel good. It builds up the dopamine, makes you feel normal. We don't do that. Sales reps are there all day, bro. So don't be that guy. When you have breaks, go out, do things. Man, sometimes I'll have a break. I hate walking, man. I don't like walking. And my wife is like a walker. She wants to walk the whole world. So me and her, always when it's walking, I'm just like, right, let's go, right? But I've started to do that more now, and I'm actually starting to like it. Why? Because when I'm walking, I'm leaving my phone at home. I've noticed that the reason why I didn't like walking, it was because I'm so focused on this, and I'm answering emails, that I'm actually not even pondering, bro. And I started to ponder. I started to walk around like, man, this world is so beautiful, man. Like, I've got so much going on in my life, but just pause for a second, man. Just reflect for a minute. There's so many great things in this world. There's so much to be grateful for. And that's another thing I want to speak about. An attitude of gratitude, man. an attitude of gratitude. You know, I buried my daughter 2 days ago, and the first thing I said was, Alhamdulillah. I thank God, bro, because that's all I can do. When things are not in your control, when things are not in your control, you must have an attitude of gratitude. You must have it, because that feeds you. It makes you better. Feeling sorry for yourself, man, people are calling me like, how are you dealing with it? I'm like, I'm good. I'm grateful, man. And you know when you're grateful, and how do you become grateful? People might think like, how do I become grateful in a trial or tribulation? There's people in Palestine that don't even have a hospital bed, bro. There's women giving birth in tents, bro. That's the reality for people. Do you understand? People don't have food, man. People are starving around the world. And here we are feeling entitled. Here we are thinking the world owes us everything. Humble yourself, bro. Be grateful for what you have. Everything that you have, be grateful for it. And as Muslims, we believe that when you are thankful and grateful, guess what? Allah will provide you with more. God will give you more. But be grateful, man. Count your blessings. There's something I learned 2 years ago from a mentor of mine. Changed my life, man. There's days where I woke up where I wasn't feeling it. You know, there's times where you wake up, you're just not feeling it today. He said, Marwan, when you wake up, grab your notepad, grab a new notepad, and just write 5 things you're grateful for. But the thing is, every day you can't mention the same thing. And do it for a month. I was like, yeah, easy. First day, second day. By the time I got to a week, man, I was so grateful, man. I was like, man, I have such amazing things going on in my life, man. So when something bad happens, I find that I'm still grateful. I find that I don't go into the victim mentality. I find that I don't have confusion in life. I don't think to myself, oh, why me? Why is this? I don't have that. I don't deal with that, because I've managed my brain and my mind to think of an attitude of gratitude. And this will change your life, man. You're gonna have days where you can't pay the bills. You're gonna have a day where somebody passes away that you really love and care about. That day will come, because this is the reality of the world we live in. But when that day comes, the way you deal with it is based on your mentality. And if you work on the mentality that I mentioned today and your mindset and your leadership, when that day comes, you will deal with it like a leader, bro. You will deal with it with such aura that everyone around you, man, my wife, God bless her, she's been through a lot, man. And just my presence around her, she was like, I don't want anyone in the world but just your aura. Your aura just puts me straight away to calmness. If you don't work on yourself, that day will come where you have to step up and you can't, because you haven't worked on yourself. You haven't developed the important things, the foundations of your life in order for you to become a leader. So I know the things that I'm saying today might sound impactful to you or whatever, but the work is not here. The work is when you go home, bro. The work is you sitting down and thinking, how do I actually develop a strong lifestyle? How do I develop a calendar that's so impactful that every day when I go to bed, I feel like, yo, I gave it 120% today. How do you do that? That's something that you got to figure out on yourself, by yourself. Because guess what? It's you and you. That's it. Nobody else is with you, man. Especially us high-ticket sales guys. We're on Zoom. Right? It's you versus you. Every single day, it's you versus you. And if you can't become aware enough to understand where your flaws are and where you need to lead a better life, then you're just going to be in motion with everything until a calamity or something happens and you won't know how to deal with it. Don't let your inner me become your enemy, 100%. You know, I genuinely believe nobody can beat me. I genuinely believe this. I look at the world, I'm like, nobody can beat me because I hold the power. You know what most of us do in life? We do this. We blame everything, we blame everyone, we blame this, we blame that, we blame our sales managers, blame the leads, blame everything, you're just blaming. Do you know what happens when you blame? You lose power. That's it, you lost it. But when you point, guess what happens? You're pointing 3 right back at you, man. How about you blame yourself 3 times before you blame anyone else? Do you know what happens when you blame yourself? You get that power back. And when you have power, you can change. When you have power, you have accountability. When you have power, you can change the situation you're in. But when you give that power to someone else, you're done. Does that make sense? That's pretty much it for me, guys. I hope that I've impacted anybody in this room. And like I said, my goal coming here and being with you guys today is genuinely, I want to aspire change. I'm on a mission right now in life. My mission this year is to impact, empower, develop, enrich, educate 1,000 people. And all I want from them is 3 things: coachability, consistency, commitment. If I get these 3 C's, I'm gonna work with this guy. I'm gonna change his life. If one of these three things lack, next. All of you need to have a mission in life. Please listen to me. Don't just think about yourselves, man. The world is suffering, man. We're going through enough trials and tribulations. We need more leaders. We don't have enough good leaders. There's too many bad leaders leading this world. Start with yourself. Then work on your family. Create a better environment for your family. Be more loving, more caring, more compassionate towards your people. Start to impact your wider community. You will lead. a good life, and you will have an impact. It's so important to have an impact, man. Because as you leave this world, what remains? What you've done. What you've done remains. If you've done nothing, then you're just a number in the database, with all due respect. You had no impact whatsoever. Work on a mission. That being said, I hope you guys appreciate the workshop. And any of the brothers, by the way, Rizq Rise, sorry to the sisters, we're working with only brothers at the time being, but anyone that wants to work with Rizq Rise, there's a QR code there. You guys can check out our website, who we are, what we're about. We do a lot of different retreats and events through the year as well. We're in Dublin last week. We're in Morocco. We have Umrah coming up in October. So alhamdulillah, we ask Allah to allow us to do more good work. We're really passionate about developing young people, especially young people. We want them to really have the skills in order for them to really lead a better life. That's the whole goal, right? But I'll pass it back to Shaheen. Thank you so much for having us here, man. Barakallahu feek.